So this is a writing exercise based off the short story by T.C. Boyle called The Hitman. The story is told through a bunch of headers like the womb, birth, early years, and then paragraphs under each header describing essentially what happens. So for this writing exercise, you just read the short story, you pluck some of the headers, maybe about 50%, then you can use some of your own as well, and then you tell the story from there. Here is my variation entitled The Frat Boy. The womb. 9 months suspended in amniotic fluid, Mozart's Symphony No. 40, and ethanol. Birth. Skokie Hospital, Chicago, June 1987. The frat boy emerges, tiny fist clutching a 12-ounce can of Bud Light. Public relations executive Adam Astor, currently in Brooklyn, hears the frat boy's first cries via landline. Early years. The frat boy wets the bed until he is 11 and has a predilection for microwaving batteries. First day of 4th grade. On the bus, he busts a girl's lip open with his Bud Light. 5th day of 4th grade. Arts and crafts. He attempts to enjam a paintbrush into another kid's eye. He's a good kid, says mother at the expulsion hearing. The frat boy tugs his shirt over his mouth. Astor makes yearly visits around Christmas. He never stays for more than 3 or 4 days. On his 12th birthday, mother signs the frat boy up for piano lessons. He's getting really good at piano. The frat boy will struggle to remember these years. First date. The frat boy has just turned 16. He no longer plays piano. The frat boy picks up his date at 7. They drive to the lake and sit in his car. He asks 2 questions. First, he asks if she's ever seen National Lampoon's Animal House. Later, he asks if she wants a Bud Light. She does not agree to a second date. Death of Mateo Maria Bunaz. Skokie Hospital, Chicago, September 2002. Former associate and friend of Astor, Mateo Maria Bunaz, dies. Liver failure. Cirrhosis. Alpha Beta Sigma. Alpha Beta Sigma Chapter House, Ohio State University, Ohio. Senior year. Kids in white polos forcing other kids in white polos to drink. At lectures, the frat boy gets fucked up on Bud Light and leaves early. On the frat house porch, he sits with frat brothers in cheap plastic lawn chairs, shouting comments at passing co-eds about their anatomy. At the initiation, he dips the branding iron into the fire pit, then affixes A.B. Sigma into the liver of a pledge. Title IX hearing. Astor sends a lawyer in a gray pinstripe suit. He's a good kid, says the lawyer. The frat boy tugs his polo over his mouth. Work. Astor and Company, 10th floor of the Clock Tower building, Brooklyn, New York. The frat boy's in his early 30s now. Astor has set him up in a comfortable middle management position, overseeing wars against soda taxes and minimum wage hikes. For $52 an hour, the frat boy spends most days at his Cocobolo desk. He gets fucked up on Bud Light and leaves early. Mother's death. 4 days by her side in Skokie. Liver failure. Cirrhosis. On his way out, the frat boy screams at various nurses and flips off the front desk receptionist. In Pennsylvania, on the drive back to Brooklyn, the frat boy is arrested and charged with driving under the influence and vehicular eluding. He sips his Bud Light in his holding cell. Stalking the streets of the city. After work, the frat boy stalks the streets of Brooklyn. Sometimes he goes to a bar, but more often than not, the frat boy just aimlessly wanders, sipping his Bud Light and ogling passing women with glazed, dull eyes. Child's birth. The Brooklyn Hospital Center, Brooklyn, New York, April 2020. A mother gives birth to a baby boy, tiny fist clutching a Sierra Nevada hazy IPA. The frat boy is not present at his child's birth, having cut contact with the mother several months prior. Death. The Brooklyn Hospital Center, Brooklyn, New York, June 2020. Liver failure resulting from COVID-19 infection compounded by cirrhosis. The frat boy's body rallies, his jaundiced eyes dart open. He wheezes, then gags, his right arm shaking over his chest, threatening to send his IV stand crashing, attempting to lift his Bud Light to his intubated face. The frat boy's body goes limp. Cool beer spills onto his still chest. Somewhere in Brooklyn, the baby boy suckles on bitter hops.